Gary from Onedb, and today what I'm going to show you is RB, recurring billing, which is a very small part of Onedb. It's the user application part of the ERP system. Just before we get into that, a quick show here of the actual toolkit we use to build Onedb applications. So this is a toolkit including things like entities, views, functions. So you work at a much higher abstraction level than you would with traditional coding. So you can literally build 25 times faster. You just define entities, relationships, attributes, all point and click, all visual, and you rarely have to use code, but you've also always got the option to use code if there's something missing. So there's like no limits to the capability of Onedb. So it's an incredible system. So we've actually built here a complete ERP CRM system using Onedb, and the RB is within sales order processing within ERP. So if I click on the sales order processing, the recurring billing, because it's related to customers, is defined within customers. So if you go to customers, you'll see some of these customers have got recurring billing, has recurring. So if I click on the first one here, it shows you that customer. A customer is actually a party, and the party, if I click on a party, that's got things like contacts, emails, addresses, that kind of thing. So that's the kind of thing that is relevant across the whole system. Like a party could be a supplier and a customer and a worker and an organization. So we define it, it's like inheritance, you define at the highest possible level things like addresses, which could be used by the supplier and the customer. But here within the customer, we have items only relevant to the customer, like customer group, sales region, for example, order type, invoice type, that kind of thing. But what we want to focus on now is recurring billing. So you can see here, I've defined a couple of items. Again, items is another thing we use throughout the system. For example, for purchasing, for sales, for inventory. You can define different kinds of items like like service and stock items. And literally everything is an item, so that gives you tremendous analysis, reporting, because they relate to product lines, regions, customer groups, supplier groups, that kind of thing. So everything is related to an item, so that's really powerful. So if I click, you can define that. The main thing to think about here then is the last build date. So that's the last time it was built, obviously. Then the next build date is just the last build date plus the interval, the period between them, and that's how you define the recurring billing, is to set up the intervals that you regularly want to repeat, which you want the workflow to use. You can easily add items or amend items, change the dates, that kind of thing. So the way this is automated is actually based on a view. So a view is like a report. So you can create a point and click report, and you can actually put logic into the report as well. So if I go to the view, we've got a view called auto recurring billing. If I click on that, I can execute the view, and what it uses today's date as the as at date. And what it does is it goes and finds a build date which is before the current date for all the items, and it also then quite a simple calculation, calculates the next build date. So it's just, all that is the last date plus whatever the interval is. This one hasn't picked up any annual ones, just monthly ones, because the annual ones have been done already. Depending how often, every time it runs a view, it kind of loops back on itself. So there's the view there. So what we need to do now then is look at the workflow. So what the workflow does is, this is how you actually define a workflow. It's all point and click, so the end user doesn't have to see this, but I just wanted to show you, to give you some idea what's going on in the background. So what it does is it goes through in a loop, looking at each customer, seeing if there's some items to invoice, create the invoice, then updating that information within that customer, i.e. the next bill date, and then actually creating the sales invoices and then emailing them out as well. We could actually run the workflow. I could show you, just to show you that it's fairly quick. Obviously it takes a little while to run through, probably like 30 seconds, 40, maybe a minute. But as I said earlier, the user doesn't have to see this interface. This is what's happening in the background. It can just literally be a one button click to run the workflow. Success triggered. But you can also do a scheduled job, so you don't have to even press a button. So for example, I could do one, I could call it recurring billing. I could look up that function, recurring billing, and then I can say, right, run every month, for example, month-end billing every month, and then that would be completely automatic, which is cool. So the workflow is run now. It's gone through, it's done all the recurring billing. Then if I go back to like one of these customers, you can see got a few extra tabs here. We've got one called email. If I go to sent items, you can see it's actually sent an email, and this is a template, so you can obviously define the template, different format, whatever text you want. You've got these placeholders where you can pull in like the invoice number, the amount, date, of course, and then I'll just click on, you can see the invoice here as well. So obviously this is definable as well using the report writer view builder. Again, all point and click, quite intuitive, easy to define. And what's also good as well, it doesn't have to just be like fixed amounts. The workflow could go through and pick out, for example, hours billed, and create an invoice based on variable amounts, again, within a defined period. So it's completely up to you how you want to define your workflows. And that's the real power of OneDB, is you can create these powerful workflows very quickly. Whereas, for example, with Microsoft Dynamics, which I used to sell, doing that was very difficult. It took quite a lot of development time, customization. It's not easy to add this kind of logic to those older legacy systems. Whereas with OneDB, it's really easy to add this kind of logic. So that gives you competitive advantage. It obviously saves a lot of time. You can imagine in your line of business, in your core business, you can create, this is like admin accounting, but for the core business, you can create logic that gives you competitive edge. And that hopefully this demonstrates that for you. So I think hopefully that's enough of recurring billing. Thanks for watching, and come back for more videos on lots of other topics. Thank you.